That's what's so crazy is we have one turnover at the half. And you've seen all of our games, and it's been problematic for us. As Breein Tyree has evolved into more of a primary ball handler, I think it's solved some of our issues. And we had four big ones down the stretch. Bree played, what a great game he played against a really good team and a really good player. His matchup was one that, as a coach, you look and you say, one-on-ones, winning one-on-ones is not a lot of basketball terminology, but we use it a lot. And you start saying, well, we need to win this matchup. Well, he's going against an all-league caliber point guard and an older kid and number 20, and I thought he did a great job for us, just keeping us in it. We were struggling in some areas. TD gets in foul trouble and never really developed a rhythm in the game. Dre obviously continues to struggle, but Bree kept us around. And then he has the one turnover down the stretch, and we caught a ball out of bounds. Some awareness stuff. We're late on a couple of three-point shooters. Give Baylor credit. I thought they were really out of sorts. Their best player gets in foul trouble early. As a top 5 team, probably up to number 2 on Monday, they go to their bench and they get production out of guys that have not produced to that level throughout the course of the year. They stay in the game. I thought the 1-3-1 bothered them early. It didn't bother them late, which forced us to go more man-to-man, which puts us in foul trouble. And then when Sebas picks up his 4th with about 9 to play, we really had to try to sell out to that 2-3 zone. And I thought it bothered them on first shot, but this is the second game in a row at home that we get destroyed on the glass, and you're not going to win against quality teams. Texas A&M beats us around 15 on the glass. They have 16 offensive rebounds. Today we're minus 10 on the glass, and we go up 13 offensive rebounds. You're not going to beat the second-ranked team in the country in that regard, most especially when they shoot 54% and you shoot 33 in the second half. So all credit to Baylor. I'm proud of my guys' effort. I thought they played really hard. If they'll play this hard for the remainder of the season, we'll win some more games.
Andy, is part of the rebounding problem playing so much zone? Does that take you out of rebounding position?
I think part of the rebounding problem is guys not willing to get uncomfortable and truly committing to the fight. Am I supposed to say that? That's what I really think. I look at our stat sheet, and I'm playing 22, 23-year-old guys, 25, 28, 29 minutes, and they got as many rebounds as a dead man. That tells me that they're not engaged in the fight. Is that okay to say, or is this in this politically correct era? I'm not supposed to say that? We got to get in the fight, man. If you don't get in the fight, you're not going to win SEC basketball games.
You talked about Baylor shooting 54% in the second half, and the 1-3-1 didn't bother them as much. What did they change, do you think?
Well, early in the first half, they were 6 for 16 against us, so I thought it was pretty effective. Second half, they go 5 for 6. Scott Drew's a pretty good coach. They got pretty good players, and obviously Motley played more in the second half, and they got the ball to the center of it. And once they got to the center, then they're playing numbers, and I thought they were really, really efficient with corner threes. I don't know if they made another one other than the kid, at the end making the one that sealed it, but they made a lot of corner threes, and a lot of them at the end of shot clocks.
Breein, like you said, has been coming and coming. Does he finally look fully healthy and like the player that you're
I think physically he's in a good place. He hasn't had any setbacks as it relates to the injury. Now it's just, we're just going through, the freshman growth, up, down, up, down. But really proud of him tonight because he stepped up and made plays. I know you guys that hear me all the time get sick of hearing it, but I played for 2 Hall of Fame coaches, and that's one thing that they told me every single day, Jim Valvano and Gene Bartow. They'd say, Kennedy, players make plays, and they're right. So Baylor made them. Our guys tried, come up a little bit short.
You switched up the starting lineup tonight. What was kind of the thinking behind that?
Just trying to find a spark, trying to give us a chance to win. Everything I do, I assure you, there's one common thing. I'm trying to win. So I want to put the guys on the floor. We only have 9, and I only typically play 8 a lot of minutes. And I'm just trying to play the guys that give us a chance to win.
What do you attribute Dre's struggles to right now? The ankle or just confidence? Or
I hate to speak for someone else. It'd probably be better served if you ask him. I don't know. Because we've seen, all I ask is for guys to play to their standard. Now, over the course, I guess we played 21 games now. It's unrealistic to think that you are going to be at your height for 21 games. But the highs and the lows, the swing is too big for us to absorb as a team right now.
What did you think of Rasheed physically and emotionally?
I thought emotionally he was really locked in. It was hard for me to play him. We keep plus minus, and he was like minus 14 when he was on the court, so that's the reason I didn't have him in at the end. His timing, he hasn't played to the speed of the game in quite some time. He wanted to play. I wanted to play him. He'll get better as he gets more in rhythm.
You might have said this, but what ended up being wrong with him? Like, what did they
They
find?
never told us, and I don't know if that's good or bad, honestly, but there was never a specific cause of the seizure, like, hey, we've got to do this, we've got to do that. They've changed some things, some medications that he was on, and they really attributed, the only thing that became recurring was dehydration, and some other things combined to cause it. So we've tried to eliminate those, but again, all of the tests came back clear, which is a great thing, obviously.
I know you really like this team in the preseason. After 20 games,
My
how
wife
close-
says I always like them in September and October. Get back to me in February. Oh, we're about February.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, at this point, how close do you think they are to what their potential is?
You know what? I don't know. I've gotten a little spoiled in that we've gone the senior oriented, the fifth year deal a couple times, and it's really worked. You know, again, nobody was an all-league player, but it was pretty seamless. And I was anticipating. I kind of consider Dre that because he's been around college basketball. He's like 5 years removed from high school, and he was in our program last year. His role has obviously changed from being a practice player to being a game guy and a guy that I thought would get all league votes this year. So it just hasn't been as seamless as I would have hoped, you know. And we've got to keep working with it, and we've got to keep figuring it out, and we've got to find a way to win another game. That's
How
my goal.
frustrating is it?
I'd like for it to be Tuesday.
How frustrating was it with Cole? And he's an older guy and supposed to be one of the more experienced guys on your team, and he kind of steps out of bounds at the end.
Twice.
The bad inbound pass.
Yeah,
Just kind of what it
it's
was.
frustrating. Yeah, I mean, I wish he wouldn't have.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.